Before I get to you, Brian, there was a report out today that now 5 people have died because of CO2 poisoning, just trying to heat themselves with generators and maybe not positioning them the right way. The CO2 poisoning has now claimed 5 lives. I wanted to get to you right away, Brian, because not many people knew how bad the situation was in Staten Island until these pictures started rolling in. What's it like there now?
Well, Ashley, it's still pretty much a scene of devastation. This neighborhood is getting some relief now. There are National Guard troops on the street all around me. Some are coming down the street right now, and our photojournalist Chris Turner can kind of pan over, show you some of the activity here. People are walking around. They are starting to pick up the pieces. They are starting to get some help. But it is still a huge sense among many people in this neighborhood of just being overwhelmed. Food is still pretty scarce here, although some food has been brought in. Much of that food has been brought in from neighborhood organizations and restaurants. Local community members who live outside the area affected have brought in food and clothing. But we do have to say that since some of the initial complaints, FEMA has arrived on the ground in some presence here. The Red Cross has set up not too far away from here. There have been city bulldozers, sanitation trucks, dump trucks. There's one coming down the street right now. They're all buzzing around here now, clearing debris from the streets. Here comes one. But even with all this activity going on, still just devastation, and still it looks like a war zone. This is the St. George Malankara Orthodox Church. Basement completely flooded out. One official here told me at least $100,000 worth of damage. They have had to just basically toss out everything that was in the basement that they used to feed people on Sundays. Chairs. They've got an oven and stove set over here. They've got a refrigerator here that had to be tossed out. Just all this debris. They've had to clear it out. They don't know if they're going to be able to salvage much of that basement. So that just gives you a feel of the sense of devastation here, Ashley. And, you know, people here just kind of doing what they can to pick up and move on. But it's a very slow process.
And the question, slow process, that's exactly the question. As we look at the pictures to the right of you on the screen, it would seem as though that Staten Island would have been in the same predicament that all these other communities, you know, were in, and that was dire straits, needing help right away. And yet 3 days later, you know, there was Donna Solis complaining that she felt like she was going to die and that they were freezing overnight. Is it that Staten Island was just isolated because of the bridges, that no one could get to them right away, and that images like these played out without people really knowing much about it?
Well, Staten Island certainly was isolated in some measure, and I think the picture isn't quite clear about how it got so isolated and why it took at least a couple of days for some relief to get to these people after the storm. Actually, I can tell you, I'm not sure about the bridges, but I know that traveling to Staten Island has been very difficult. Roads have been closed. Traffic has been just incredibly snarled in trying to move around. There have been trees down on roads. You know, long lines for gas have really complicated things. So we know that logistically getting relief supplies here, getting agencies on the ground has been difficult. But you know what? We got here. It hasn't been impossible. You can get here. And, you know, people here just have a sense that they were almost ignored for a couple of days. And I think we're just starting to maybe ascertain some answers here.
So what about the marathon? Because there's been a lot of talk about the mayor wanting the new